Hi, I'm Chris Schomburg and I'm your instructor for AC/DC. So one of the biggest generating power sources for DC or direct current is a solar panel. You can see I have a bunch of solar panels. We're actually on my roof right now and we are generating a lot of power out of these solar panels. Now this one ended up being the first one I put up here. What I actually did is I jerry-rigged it. This is just a ballast to keep it on the roof. Again, the biggest safety that I have and that the solar panels have on being on a roof is to stay on the roof. So the biggest safety that you have is falling off the roof. So making sure that you're always safe, either having personal protection, a helmet, really making sure that you're really good and safe with a ladder, able to climb and do that kind of thing as well. So those are the basic needs that you're going to have when you're on a roof. Again, it's fairly simple to install these. This one, in this case, because it's a rental, I am not actually drilling in or putting anything drilling into these solar panels. I'm also activating them because they're instantaneous, they generate instantaneous power. And so because of that, I actually have them down in my house hooked up to a battery. And so I'm using a battery basically to store the power during the day so that I can use it during the night. And that's typically for lights or for music and those kinds of things. But it could be about any load that you'd want, either AC or DC, and we'll see why that's true. You can see the solar arrays that we have here. This is actually 50. This one right here is a 25. Yep, we can see that's a 25 watt. This one is actually a 75 watt. I believe these are actually 70s. These are all 100 watt solar panels. So they'll generate twice as much energy, twice to three times as much energy to three times quicker also on the battery. So that's actually kind of a cool thing, is that if we hook up one of these and we compare it to the 25 watt, we could literally fill the battery 3 times in the time that 25 watt fills up. So that's kind of a neat thing, is that, you know, it's nice to know the differences between the size of the wattage. So what I'm going to do here is I have right here, this is an M4 cable. And so this is the M4 cable, and what we're going to do is we're going to hook it up, our wires, and then we're going to throw that down through a line, and then we're going to go ahead and power that inside and use that for power inside. So typically to use these guys, what you have to do is you have to actually just kind of push, and then you can pull them out like that. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of unwind it a little bit, just enough so they can see that it's completely unwound, so that then I can use it later. So the next thing that we're going to do is we want the red one, so we're going to want this lead right here to hook into the red one. Now this is my positive high current coming down. Now then the negative right here, we're going to want to actually hook up to the negative side right here. It says the negative right here, so that's something that you can tell. If you can't read these, if you have a hard time reading the M4C cables, you can actually also look on the solar panel and it will have a positive and minus display as well. So that then means that then we can just hook into here, and it should just click, and you should not be able to pull it out. If you want to pull it out, you're going to have to push on the pins and then pull. And that's actually how it's going to come out in that case. So while we're up here, I actually want to show you kind of the tools of the trade that I'm using. This is just a Leatherman tool. Again, why I use this is if I can't crimp it out, I can actually push on this and use that to crimp that out. It's just always good to have a tool at hand. That's a good thing to use. It's also easy to carry and easy to use. Then I also have, this guy is an amp meter, and I use this all the time for this kind of application. I don't ever want to measure current in series with this type of power, because it's going to generate a high enough current that it could be dangerous. So I can actually measure the current by just putting it over it. Now obviously this one is not going to have anything because it's an open circuit. Remember, there's nothing connecting right now. We have both of the ends open circuit to air. We're not going to see any current through either one of these lines. So this line is not going to have any current either. It's going to have no current. Now let's go ahead, let's move to another one, because this is how you troubleshoot when you're on the roof, and we don't get on the roof that much, so it's a good chance to do that. So this is our 100 watt, and right here we can see we have 2 cables right here. We have a red cable and we have a black cable. If I hook into this black cable, and then I adjust it to, this is AC right now setting, we want to see it at a DC setting, we're seeing about 1/4 of an amp, or so 0.2 to 0.25 amps. And so that's actually not that high of an amperage. It's not probably going to kill you, but it could be dangerous. So it could actually cause smoke, could cause fire if it's hooked into the wrong type of thing. Again, 6 milliamps can actually kill you. So yes, it is across your heart. It could actually kill you. So that is why we would never want to measure this in series. We always want to use amp clamp of some sort, and a DC amp clamp like this is ideal for that. Again, let's just measure them while we're here, just to test to make sure that they're all working. So that one we just measured. Okay, so this one's another 100 watt. Let's compare the 100 watts right here. This one is about 0.2 to 0.17 amps. You can see that right there. So then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try the other one. It's about, we're getting about 0.39 amps actually, and that's AC, so let's see here. No, it's about 0.17 as well. So this is a little lower current-wise, and possibly that's because of the shade of the tree. And that's actually a huge thing when you're thinking about when you put in solar, is you have any form of shade on the solar panel, those particular solar photovoltaic cells cannot activate, and because they can't activate, they can't then generate as much current or voltage. And then let's look at this last one, this last 100 watt, and we see about 0.22 to 0.17. Again, we're getting about the same current out of all of those, and so that's kind of a key point. Again, it also has a lot of shade there's a lot of clouds, there's a lot of shade also from the trees, and I think, you know, just having the clouds above here is going to limit the amount of amperage. Let's go ahead, let's look at one more. While we're here, we're going to troubleshoot all of them. So right here, this is our 70 watt. This is comparable to the first one that we put in and the one that we just installed, and we're going to install today. And we should see, it's a good thing to just measure it to see what it's getting right now. It's getting about now this is interesting, it's getting about 0.25 to 0.5 amps to 0.3 amps. So it's actually getting a higher amperage than our 100 watts. Now why would that be? In this case, this location, there's not much shade, there's not much cloud, and there's not the trees that are actually bombarding it. So that's actually a key point here, is even though it's a lower wattage, location. That's the most important thing, is having a good location. This is 0.3 amps. So again, that's even a higher amperage right there, even from a lower wattage, but it just has the better location. This one actually we're going to troubleshoot, but we're going to have to move to look at it. This is the 25 watt. This is the first solar panel that I purchased that was large, that I wanted to try to learn about solar with. I thought, oh, it's too small to actually do anything with. Well, that's not true. You can generate quite a bit of current and voltage and wattage from this 25 watt. So I still use it, and I still use it on powering a lot of my batteries and things like that. So let's go over here. It is a little different. So if we go over here right to about here, we're going to see the big basic difference between this one and the others. And in a lot of ways, I feel it's the most dangerous one. It uses an SAE cable, and you can see that cable's different. We actually had to put an inverter into this cable because we're converting from this type of circuit to another one, okay? And so it was actually inverting the signal. The high signal was the low signal was the high signal, and that was very dangerous and actually did cause some burnouts when I first built it. So that's something that we want to make sure that we're always, when we convert from one type of cable to another type of cable, we know what we're doing. And basically, again, using this type of cable, it's an 18 gauge, and so that's another thing that you have to make sure that you have the proper gauge wire for the type of conversion that you're going to use. So let's go ahead and measure it real quick here. And currently we're getting almost no current off of this one, and we're getting almost no current off of this one too. So this one could actually be down, although I wonder if we're also just, the storm is coming in enough that we're not getting any current right now. So let me take one more measurement off of the 100 watt and see if it's, yep, it's actually now not that device. We just didn't catch it in time. we have lost our solar at this point. At this point, the solar has gone down enough that we're not actually collecting enough solar to measure. All right, so we're going to measure the current and voltage. Notice if we measure it here, we're not going to measure anything. It's because both of the wires are plugged in together. What we need to do is we need to measure that off of those plugs that came off of the solar over there. So we're just having negative, and in this case, if we measure it, we're going to see almost an amp now. We're measuring almost an amp coming off of that cable. If we look at the other cable, it should be about the same. It's about 0.9 to, about 0.9 amps. So it's almost, or now it's actually above an amp. It's about 1.2 or 1.14 amps. So that's kind of cool. We're actually seeing the amperage coming through. We're seeing that it's powering up. I'm going to hold the plug for a second here, and I'm going to actually measure voltage. Now this can measure voltage and amperage. Remember, we did the amperage with the clamp, so it was induction, so that was not going to be in danger of us actually doing it inline or in series current. So it's a lot safer to use this type of clamp. But now we can use it as a multimeter, and we can measure the voltage. Now, typically with the voltage, in this type of plug, we always put this in the center, which is the high, and then we put the ground on the side. So we go ahead and put that in the center like that, and we put this in the ground, and we're measuring about 21 volts, which is pretty substantial. That's a pretty high voltage right now. 21.08 volts actually is what we're measuring. So we can tell it's actually working just perfectly, and that's really what we wanted to see, is that we were getting around 21 volts from this and almost 1 amp. So that's almost 21 watts. So that's pretty good wattage from a 70 watt. It's not its maximum wattage, but that's not bad for 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, you're not always going to get the highest amount of maximum peak wattage that you want all the time. You're going to get either some level of that or some range of that. Well, I hope you continue to watch a lot more of these videos, and I hope you continue to have an interest in science and energy, and also in electronics.